Hello.
You got me now, Emily?
Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sorry. It was Zoom was crashing my desktop, so I had to switch over to my laptop.
All good. How you doing?
Good, you?
Yeah, doing well. Having a decent week so far?
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Good to hear. And you guys are based are you in Charlotte or what did I see?
Yeah, Charlotte, North Carolina.
You're in Charlotte. Nice. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
What about you? Is that a real background for you?
I'm in Tampa
Cool. Awesome.
on it's the bay behind me.
Yes, yes, yes. A lot
Sweet.
of family
Well,
grew up
I
in Tampa,
have
so
your application up. I've got the site up. I've got the ad library up. So, yeah, it sounds to me like you guys are basically just looking to get some better quality, I guess, primarily from Facebook. If you wouldn't mind, give me just a high level rundown of where most of your like qualified leads are coming from. If it is Facebook, awesome. If it's Google or something else, let me know. And then,
yeah.
yeah, based on what you shared with me there, we can take this conversation a couple different ways.
We're in the life cycle of the business, Emily, that the most qualified is definitely word of mouth and referral. So we're far enough into the business that that's the case. It's just always one of those ambitious entrepreneur business owners that would love to grow more, and so I kind of still definitely have a healthy paid advertising budget because I just kind of always want to grow some key areas of the practice,
Sure.
and not just kind of wait for those referrals. So spend about equal amounts on Meta and Google on that. Probably more lead volume comes on the Meta side than the Google side. Um, so yeah, I think really just trying to get more engaged lead quality off the Meta platform, if you will.
Yep.
You know, happy with the paid media buyer that I had there. They don't do a bad job at all.
Cool.
You just kind of still would like, yeah, I was just kind of very intrigued. Kind of saw your ads and messages a couple times, and don't know exactly how you work in terms of whether you're like acting as a paid media by yourself, or you're just kind of dropping and plugging in some of these strategies. Specifically with kind of putting a female face onto part of the brand, and just seeing that engages. I kind of long suspected that that's probably the case, and somebody besides my face on a talking head video might perform a little bit better. But so I have always been thinking about that in the back of my head, and then I'm sure Zuckerberg was listening to those thoughts in my head, and you popped up on my feed. So here we are.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah, great. That all makes good sense. Obviously, from a volume standpoint, you do get more on Meta. Do you feel like Google brings you guys a more qualified person right now? Just
Depends on the
pricier or no?
funnel, right? Like hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Somebody who's like actually Googling hyperbaric oxygen therapy near me is actually probably they're already solution aware, they're problem aware, like they're like, hey, I want hyperbaric oxygen. Right?
Yes.
Where it's just somebody's like, hey, like hormone therapy near me, like they're still maybe kind of contemplating hormone. Do I need hormones? Like, is this the right thing for me? Right? But somebody who searches hyperbaric oxygen, they're like, I want to get into a chamber today.
Right. Makes sense.
So
And with your current media buyer who's focused on Meta, can you shed a little bit of light around what the current creative testing process looks like? You guys have a decent amount of active ads. So does he take
yeah.
creative testing into his own hands? Do you guys have kind of a collaborative approach there? He asks you to film stuff. Like, what's the vibe?
Yeah, it's collaborative. They kind of drive it. I mean, always been a little heavy-handed, if it's going to be my face in terms of like what I'm willing to say and not say, and right, I'm not going to dance and that sort of stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, in terms of like all those static, that's definitely a lot of testing on his part. I usually just sign off on copy just to make sure it's on brand. But yeah, they're kind of constantly testing a lot of those statics. They will kind of give me some recommendations on the video stuff, and then I'm kind of like filming, editing, and kicking it back to them.
Great. And when it comes to, I guess, most proven Facebook funnels, is the core offer around hormone therapy and geared mostly towards guys, or what would you say is the most profitable funnel on Meta?
So for a long time before everyone got into the GLP-1 game,
That was it.
I've been doing peptide therapy before like peptide was a thing, right? So I've been
Nice.
doing that for like 15 years, right? So I mean, so that used to crush it. And then the market got pretty diluted. Right now our Emerald laser ad, body contouring laser, does very well. It's probably almost a self-liquidating offer most months.
Okay.
Have very much struggled for like men's hormone, which is why, to be honest, probably what I reached out, to have this conversation around, because I figured if there's going to be any target group, if we want to be biased, that may respond a little bit better to, female focused, it might be them. So I have struggled to kind of get um, progress there the most, whereas like Emerald Laser crushes it.
Okay. And from the men's hormones side of things, what is that standard offer that you get them in the door at? And what does ideal kind of lifetime look like on those people from a lifetime value standpoint?
Yeah, current, and then I'm maybe thinking about kind of getting ready to switch it out. So it was very much a initial upfront self-liquidating offer, slow offer, if you will, where we're trying to do lab testing plus initial IV therapy treatment and consultation, including body composition analysis for $197.
Okay.
Um, so that one definitely is not kind of taking off the way. One and two has kind of really struggled and just kind of being a bit of a money pit, to be honest. So was debating just kind of moving it into the discovery call model and then just, trying to improve um, kind of what I've seen in the interaction on the text threads have been, people just have a lot more questions. They want, to to have a little bit more correspondence before they're willing to just shell out 197. So I think that maybe somebody made the discovery call might buffer that, and then I might kind of instead of like a 197, stick a bit of a higher, more robust lab package in, and kind of try to hit more like the $500 mark. Just because I'm sure the cost to acquire that customer is going to be a little bit higher, so I might kind of move that needle up a little higher. But
Yep.
that's where it currently is today, and where I'm thinking about maybe going.
Who would take those calls, you or other team members?
No, I have a setter, an internal setter.
Great. And they would be, yeah, capable of fielding those.
Correct.
Cool. Okay. I'm trying to think what other questions I have for you. Any significant kind of like baseline metrics you want to throw at me from a Facebook performance side of things? Like, what would you say? I want to be a little mindful of like the volume of leads that you guys are seeing, because if we need to go a little more for that quality guy, it could end up costing a good bit more. But if in the long term the metrics further down the funnel end up
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it's kind of, I'd probably gonna be comfortable, if I had a well qualified individual who actually gets the labs and comes back into the office, like I'm happy if we let that roll above 100, on a cost per lead, but we actually like people are showing up and like getting those labs,
cool.
right? Just getting a form fill at $100, like not gonna do it for me. But like if I had to float all the way up to $200 and people are actually showing up for the consult, my close rate internally is like 80 to 85%,
Right.
like across the board. Like I know we'll be able to convert them into something, and there's some pretty significant lifetime value, right? So like, I may throw that into a $2,500 package just straight out the gate, or it may turn into something that they're on like a $300 a month membership, but they tend generally stay for like 2 years.
I like
Um,
it.
so I think the problem is just getting more qualified people to come into the office and go through that lab analysis process. And from there, like my staff and can take over and we can close people.
Cool.
But
Okay. Um, I like it. How much are you spending right now on Facebook? Did you say you said half and half goes towards Facebook and Google, but what are those budgets?
yeah, I don't know I didn't actually look at the stat before jumping on here, but we usually flex between 6 to 8 on Meta
Okay,
and 4 to 6 on Google.
cool. Okay, great. Um, yeah, so I feel like I have everything I need to know here. Um, you just saw a couple of our ads, and that's how we got on this call, basically.
The ads, and I watched your BSL.
Great. So, yeah, I mean, I'm really confident that we would do well on the men's hormone side of things, especially trying to crack kind of that female perspective, it coming from like a wife angle, or even if it's just like almost female nurse angle kind of vibe of like we're almost on your team, but we're just like a female spokesperson at the company that have the credibility and authority to be able to talk to, your ideal guy clients. We've kind of
So
like,
you would plug and play in your faces, or we leverage my team and you provide kind of scripting and guidance.
no, we would handle it end to end. I
Okay.
have I have about 30 different women on the team that are regularly on camera talent for all of our clients. The
Yeah.
our team ranges from as young as 25 to up to 70 years old. So if we think about who your ideal guy kind of age bracket falls between maybe 35 to 55, you better believe I'm going to audit our team and say, you know what, I'm going to put these 35 to 55-year-old women in the content who can, in a sense, look like someone that these guys would be attracted to, or kind of look like their wife, or look like a nurse, or look like office members as well, like at your practice. And there can be a lot of different ways that we go about slicing the positioning of how we wrap who we are and how we show up for your offer. There's so many different ways that we can go about it, but yeah, I mean, what I would recommend would be um that wife angle, the nurse angle, and even just like using a lot of within the nurse angle, or even not even identifying as anyone, but just more so using like we statements that we work at the practice and so on and so forth. Delivering the message to the guys, I think, would come over very, very well. I'll give you a quick example. We've worked on an offer with this male coach that it basically helps saves guys' marriage. Their marriage is on the brink, and he, in a 8-week program, 12-week program, helps them overcome all these different things that they're facing. Historically, it had always been that guy coach in every single one of his ads. We took the female perspective. We plugged in like this 50-year-old woman on our team that basically was just like, hey men, like you need to step up in XYZ ways. Like I'm speaking on behalf of your wife. Like this is the thing that you don't want to hear, that maybe she's been trying to tell you, but you just can't get through your thick skull and listen. This is the message you need to hear. He literally had never seen the types of ad metrics that we were able to get him, literally just by totally like kind of flipping the offer on its head and having it come from another gender. Um, we have a lot of other case studies. That one's like a bit drastic in going
Right.
literally from black and white to kind of, yeah, the approach we took. But that would be 100% what I would test with this right out the gate. I think,
Okay.
angles too of that spokesperson angle. We've got the podcast mic in the clip, and we come across as a super like knowledgeable, credible source, commenting on general health observations, stats, data, all that good stuff in these ads. Like I think that would hit hard too. But yeah, lot of different ideas for sure.
Cool.
And then yeah, basically what we're handling, we like to take end-to-end ownership, if you're cool with it, on the strategy and the scripting of the ads. Um, don't get me wrong, I mean, we would get kind of general brand guidance, do's and don'ts of what we
Hmm.
can and can't say,
Yeah.
probably very similar to like basically the relationship that you have with your media buyer currently on copy and statics. You would give us very, very similar insight. And then from there, we would run the scripts by you before anything would get shot. And then from there, we're handling all production. We're handling all post-production. So on the post-production side of things, from an edit, if you have any content that we might want to leverage in those,
Yeah, some B-roll clip. Yeah, I have a huge library of B-roll.
Great. And like quick photos of you to pop up if we want to edify you and give you that much more credibility and authority and like speak on your behalf for 10 seconds. You better believe we'll have like a couple photos of you and the team and stuff come up. So giving us access to those folders is super valuable. And then really from there, what we would pass off to you and your media buyer would be a Google Drive folder that would have final edited videos. And then you guys would get lifetime access to the raw files as well in the event that you want to do anything else from an editing standpoint with those raws. But the idea of what we're doing for you in 7 business days is like a true turnkey ad delivery process. And I would just need to be able to look at the data alongside you guys to basically determine what ads are bringing you guys in the most qualified guy based on what we're testing. And then we use that data to get at least 2 more batches of ads delivered, typically in a month 2, month 3 sort of cadence. And then it's structured month by month thereafter. So
Okay.
yeah,
So you're not
that's,
trying to like supplant the actual media buyer. Like you're just actually you're basically providing all the creative.
yeah, we're a creative
Cool.
partner.
All right.
Yeah.
I love
So
that. Yeah, I
let
mean,
your
I love
media
that. Yeah.
buyer do his thing. Let him keep
Yeah.
excelling in, kind of what he's doing here. I mean, my first thing here is, okay, let's get you guys a better lead and let's figure out the best way that you can double ad spend. Because how can we keep your ads super efficient, getting you that $100 in the door guy that's super qualified, or $200, whatever we end up like kind of ironing out here. And how can you double
Yeah, I
spend?
mean, if you can crack this one, Emily, like I mean, I'll throw some of the other funnels at you, but like this is the one that, it. I have a lot of scale in my practice for this offer, and it doesn't
Okay.
require a lot of the um, higher salaried positions. Like it doesn't require like me running this or my nurse practitioner running this. Like my nursing staff and my wellness like staff, my MAs can like run most of these programs
Sure.
like month in, month out, right? Like I only have to see these patients like twice a year. So there's
Yeah.
just so much scale within the practice that if I can kind of build that up, it just leads to a lot of recurring revenue.
Yeah.
So and then we can like tackle some of the other ones.
Yeah. I mean, like the body contouring laser side of things, like I think we'd also do very well there. But if you have ads,
Yeah, the thing I probably I mean, that one came up in the back of my head. Like that one performs really well, but the one I get knocked on a lot is like my model currently is a very skinny female. And so like everyone's like knocking me in the comments of like, does this work with somebody who's not like stick thin,
I
right?
gotcha.
So like, but unfortunately it's really hard to get individuals, who are heavier to willing to show
Comfortable
up
to
on
be.
camera.
Yeah.
Right. So like if we took that approach, like I mean, I think that'd be huge if I got somebody who's a little bit more of the
Everyday
average person also
looking.
like
Yeah.
everyday
Yeah.
looking actually comes into the clinic, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, makes perfect sense. I will say, like, I just kind of like to throw this on your radar just so you can kind of understand how we think when we're attacking this. From a creative testing perspective, I would say first and foremost, the thing that matters the most is going to be the script. I'm always, and in my VSL, you were definitely seeing me yap on like our ad data. We do have a ton of data in a lot of different industries in terms of what's converting and what's not. So when we do attack your scripts, you better believe we're going to be pulling on. I mean, we have single offers that are in health, wellness, weight loss spaces that are literally spending between 10 to 25 grand per day on ad campaigns. I would be a fool to not leverage those learnings that we get just by their wicked fast feedback loop on stuff. The second thing I'd say we do a ton of testing with is definitely the demographic of creators. So we've got a nice pool of different people, different shapes, sizes, ethnicities, personalities too, to just see your face resonates with a certain pocket in North Carolina. My face would resonate with a different group. But you better believe if you put 7 other people in these ads, you're going to get 7 other responses and just levels of relatability across the board for who's going to relate with who. So do a lot of that demographic testing. And then the 2 other quick minor things I like to mention is accessory testing. So an example of that would be like whether or not you have on a suit or you have on nurse
Yeah.
scrubs or
I've started to do that myself, whether I wear my white jacket, my white coat, or my suit coat, right?
yes,
Yeah.
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 But it's minor stuff too, like wearing a wedding ring or Apple headphones. Like those super subtle things, if you're going for someone that's married or single, you better believe like the right people relate with just basic observations they notice by super subtle nuances, but like they do go a far way. And then the fourth thing that matters a lot is the environment. So whether you are shooting directly in a practice or you're shooting more off the cusp, like authentic kind of FaceTime styled ads that like hide in the feed a little bit more, we're not going to be in some like polished office setting with a big blue sky. Like it just wouldn't, it wouldn't hit as hard. So yeah, we do a lot of testing in that way as well.
Cool. All right, what's it look like, Emma?
So we have a handful of different packages based on really the amount of videos that you would want to test. Where I would probably recommend we start would be with our 6-pack or our 10-pack. So the 10-pack of ads monthly is 4,800 a month, and the 6-pack is 3,500 monthly. So the 6 would get you 6 unique ad videos. It'd be shot by 2 different people on the team each month, and yeah, I think that would be a decent baseline for us to work up to, but you tell me.
So I heard like, you like to do what I'm hearing is roughly like a 90-day cycle here. Is it just kind of month to month? Obviously I totally know like you got to get the data and get the feedback and information. Obviously some of that depends on your ad spend. What's your kind of general recommendation there? Like.
Yeah, so
So do
things
you
are
go to month to month,
structured.
and is there a commitment up front?
Yeah, it is on a 3-month commitment. So I want you to view us as creative partner. If we're committing to 6 ads, you'd be looking at a total of the 18 ads over the course of 90 days, and then it's structured month by month, cancel anytime thereafter. Same exact thing with the 10. From an ad spend perspective, the reason I recommended starting there is just based on kind of that 100 to 250 kind of a day budget that it sounds to me like you're currently allocating towards your campaigns. I know you're not putting only 100 a day, but I gave that slight range just
Yeah.
depending on the offers and things that you would put behind this. And I think given that amount of spend and hopefully like a slight trajectory kind of path that we're working towards would be spending a little bit more as we see the results. But I
Yeah,
think
we get the results. I'm not one of those people that have any sort of limitation on the
great.
total dollar spend. It's I
So
need to see the
so
results, right?
So I would say be very comfortable putting minimally $100 a day behind the videos that we would get you. And if you have a little bit more budget and you want to learn a bit faster with the ads and their performance, then throw 200 a day behind them. That would be plenty to get results quickly enough. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we have some guys that blast them right out the gate, but like we can crawl, walk, run here and make it so that yeah, you see some initial stuff before you're totally blasting these.
Cool. All right. Sounds good.
Are you wanting to start with the 6?
Yeah, I mean, let's lean towards the 6, and then I think the 10. I assume I can split those up. Like if I wanted to do like if we graduated to the
If
10
we
like
did the 10,
later down
I'd
the
split
road,
it 5 and 5 among 2
right?
different offers for you. So
Great, cool. That's what I was
whatever.
thinking. So let's start with 6 on one offer, and then if it starts to go well, then I'd probably upgrade to 10, and we just kind of split it out. And I'm sure you have packages above 10, and maybe we could because I usually run 3 different offers at any given time.
I like it.
Um,
Yeah,
just
we
because
could
of where I
eventually
need to
we've
shift
we've
in
got a
within the
20
practice.
pack. Oh,
Okay.
sorry, what were you saying?
No, that's good. Yeah, it sounds like you have a range of packages and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sweet. Do you currently use Slack for any comms?
everything.
Great. So for next steps, I would get you onboarded into Slack. I have that initial kind of high level brief, do's and don'ts. I call it an onboarding form that I'll send you right in Slack, ideally for you to get filled out today if you can. And then really from there, we'll review it just to make sure that we've got everything we need in order to dive into the first 6 scripts. And then we'll nudge you again in roughly 2 days to get scripts approved. And then we'll head into production from there.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. So once we onboard in there, I'll just kind of point you to the offer, on the ad library that I want you to work towards.
Yeah, I think is it I
Probably
believe
it's the Alpha Vibe offer.
it's not to this landing page.
That's it.
Oh, sweet. Okay, yeah, this is perfect. These are well done, by the way. I like a lot of your stuff.
Thanks. Thanks.
I'm really particular, and I think, yeah, it's all very well done.
Although sometimes like my best performing landing page is the shittiest one. But
No, 100%. It's so funny. I'm the same way. I have a couple that have all the bells and whistles, and I have some really ugly ones. And yeah, my ugly ones tend to outperform my pretty ones.
yeah. Okay, cool. So you're just gonna send me over a Slack invite via email, and then I'll join.
Yeah. So, what email is it connected to the will at
Yeah,
Bible?
I gave you an accurate email. Yeah, I didn't give you a bogus email. So will at BibleWellness.com.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Yeah, I gave you my real email. So will at BibleWellness.com.
Okay. Yeah. So, I'll get you going into Slack, and then, I can do that. If you have a minute, we can get this official now. Basically, it would just be, I get you into
Yeah,
Slack.
so I got real quick. I got a 2 or 3 minutes before I get back to seeing patients. So let's knock it out.
So what?
Yeah, let's knock it out. I gotta get back to seeing patients
Yeah,
here in
that's
just
good. Can I
a
drop you a
minute or
Stripe
two.
link for the 6?
Yep.
Um, I'll just throw it right here in the chat. And then let me get this real quick. Is most of your day, I'd imagine, seeing patients, or do you kind of split up responsibilities?
So I wanted to get moving on this sooner rather than later. So I actually booked you during a patient day, and I usually don't do that, but I usually have admin days on Wednesday and Friday. So I see patients 3 days a week, and then I run the
Nice.
business the other 2 days.
Cool. You're not open weekends, are you?
No, I probably won't. Shit, it's gonna roll uphill to me. Something goes wrong, they'll be calling me, and I won't deal with that.
Yeah.
All right, payment submitted.
Appreciate it. Let me just check on my end real quick. I'm just doing your intake form. Sweet. Appreciate it. I'm excited to work together.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm so really kind of interested to see where this new angle is going. I constantly kind of in the back of my head, I was like, why does my shit not work? Maybe people just don't like seeing my face. So we'll test this hypothesis.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. It's cool to, think about who you're talking to, and then think about who they're going to potentially listen to best. Don't get me wrong. I think like doctor to
If it
patient.
crushes it, it saves me time from jumping on camera and setting
Yeah.
up the whole thing and doing the
Yeah. Yeah.
filming.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot of time out of my weekends that I would much rather not be doing anyway. So
Totally. Real quick, can you just confirm that you see a Slack Connect invite to your email? I just want to make sure you've got it before we
check.
jump.
I got it. I'm seeing patients the rest of the day, but tomorrow's an admin, so I'll jump on this tomorrow.
That's perfect. Yeah. And as soon as you're in there, intake form will be in there. Spend 20, 30 minutes on that. Let me know when that's done on your end. Like I said, we'll review it, and then we'll get to work.
Cool. Awesome. All right.
Great.
Look
Well,
forward to where to go.
have a good rest of your day with patients, and yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, bye.
I'll see you.